Hi everybody, I'm back with the Daredevil episode 5 review, and this time there is some action, so I was happy because if there hadn't been any action by the hour, I'd have been, but there was some action in, not the action-packed episode I was hoping for, but some action at least, and so starts off like St. Patrick's Day celebrations going on, and Matt's sat in the bank and that, and he's listening to people like talking about the celebrations and all that, what they're going to be doing and that. And then he's talking to what appears to be the bank manager, but you find out he's the assistant bank manager. And he shows him the fucking Miss Marvel fucking Funko Pop, which I'm like, oh fuck. I thought, oh yeah, this episode's. But luckily enough, they didn't. She wasn't in it or out, but she was mentioned in that. Well, anyway, he's like talking to the bank manager and that assistant bank manager says that he's taking on more clients and that, and he didn't have much money in that, so he's wanting a bank loan and that. But then the bank assistant bank manager, which I think he is in Miss Marvel, but I'm going to call him the assistant bank manager because I haven't watched that. Oh, like Miss Marvel. So like, well, anyway, Matt's like wanting a loan to get his business expanding and that, but the assistant bank manager says like no because the clients always has been like defending hasn't really got much money, and that's why he hasn't got any money to expand his life firm, which in a way is right. You know, if you're a lawyer and that, you should have a bit of money, but obviously because Matt's defending innocent injustice people and that without wanting lots of money, then yeah, he's having to go to the bank for a loan. Well, as Matt gets refused for his loan and that, you see these bank robbers and that enter the bank and that the camera lights systems are like cut off and that they're shut down and that. And the assistant manager sees a robbery going down and that. Well, bit of action here and that. I was pumped up. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, there we go. The assistant, the robbers enter the building and that and smash one of the security guards in the face and that, and tell him to get down, even though he is down. But then they order people to get down on the floor and all that, hands up in the air. And then you see Have a Go Hero. He tries his luck, but he gets slammed around and that. And so, nice try, but no cigar. And then the assistant manager sneaks into like an empty office building and he tries to phone for help, but he don't. And that, spoilers. Because you see, Matt, he's on the phone with Foggy too, but he hears what's going on in in the bank and that. Here's a bit of the commotion. So, and then the robbers, they find the assistant bank manager in the office and that, and they tell him like, yeah, get your hands up and that. And the robbers have the people all sat in the middle of the bank at this stage, and then they escort the assistant bank manager to the rest of the hostages and that. then like Matt walks in, and he walks into the bank real calmly, like he don't know shit's going down and that. So the robbers point a shotgun at Matt and tell him to like sit down and that with the other hostages and that. And then the head bank robber tells the other robbers to lock the door because it's like, yeah, he shouldn't have even been allowed in there. Well, Matt says to the assistant manager and that, and the assistant manager saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't have come back and that sort of thing. You should have just left and that." Well, Matt is the sort of people being afraid and that. Well, at this stage, the robbers tell the hostages to say where they are and that, and they're like threatening them to like just stay there and that, and the bank robbers threaten the hostages if they don't stay where they are, they're gonna get shot. Well, Matt, being a lawyer, and the robbers pick up the head robber picks up it. He says, "Oh, well, you'll get like 25 years for murder," and that, being sarcastic and that, because obviously they're gonna know this and that. Well, anyway, they're not too happy with Matt's sort of like cheeky comments and that, so they give him a bit of a like smack in the stomach with the rifle butt and that, and then they're like cops sort of turn up and that. Well, the robbers won't want to see the bank manager, and the robbers talk to like the assistant bank manager, and they tell the manager, the manager's not in. He's like a few hours away, sort of thing. He's some excuse. He's not there for a few hours. Well, anyway, the robbers ask the assistant bank manager if he can open the vault, which he says he can do, which you find out later on. He only says this because he thought if he said no, he was going to get a rifle butt to the face or whatever. Well, yeah, SWAT team turns up and that. And the two robbers talk about switching to plan B, which Matt hears this and that. And then Matt says to the assistant bank manager that he knows he can't open the vault, probably because he heard his heartbeat or whatever. Knew he was lying. Well, the assistant bank manager says, like, yeah. He was only saying it to keep the robbers happy and that. Well, Matt says that if the assistant bank manager tells him the truth now, that he can't open it, then they're going to think he's lying. And so he says, you're going to have to tell him that you can open it, and just sort of like keep them sort of like as much time as you can get from them knowing that you can't sort of like um, open the vault. Well, hostage negotiator turns up, and it's not the one expected. Like I thought it was going to be a double cross sort of thing, but spoilers now. Turns out like it was just a case of she was the one that took place of the one. Well, anyway, the so I talked to the head robber who negotiates for three APV vehicles and that sort of like I don't know exactly what it stands for. I should have looked it up, but they're off-road vehicles anyway, so they can get out of there real quick. Well, he gives her 30 minutes to get these APV vehicles. Well, she asks for like two hostages in exchange. Well, the head robber, he's gonna let a woman and Matt go as part of the hostage trade, but Matt lets the woman's husband take his place after a bit of convincing that he should stay in that. But the head robber suspects Matt of being a bit too him wanting to stay, but he says like, yeah, all right then, well you can stay, sort of thing, but better not try anything fucking crazy in that. And yeah, Robert like puts a gun to his chest and all to make sure that Matt gets the point in that. And uh, Matt sort of like hears, I think, like the cops in that, uh, like the ready for the hostages to like get released, and that so like crowd around the building and that, where the hostages make it to like the safe zone and that, which this is sort of like halfway of the series, and I'm like, right now it needs to start kicking off, which it don't. But there is some action though. There is some more action. Well, um, this dude who's knows the bank quite well. Says that there's no money in the vaults. It's just deposit boxes, which the woman um, says to Matt about him standing in that because she's afraid of the robbers going crazy in that, and so the robber he like tells Matt to sit down and that, and Matt tells him he needs to use the toilet and that. So one robber volunteers to like take him to the toilet, and the robber, to make sure Matt ain't gonna try out stupid, puts the gun to his head to make sure, like, yeah, I've got a shotgun on you, so don't try anything heroic. Well, the assistant manager is in the vault and he's trying to buy time for Matt because he knows like he can't open the vault. Well, Matt's escorted down to the toilets and that, where Matt starts to collapse the cane he has, where you see the other bank robber getting a bit annoyed because the assistant manager's trying to buy time, so he's talking about like daft things like how the vault was made and that, and how long it's been made, and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, Matt turns quickly on the stairs, and then there's a bit of action and that. Not bad, not bad. Like, at least he's got some action in and that. Um, and the bank robber and that sort of like tries to have a go, but Matt, there's a bit of a tussle and that, and Matt sort of like slaps him around a bit and sort of give, gives him a bit of a beating, but not too much because like he's got to make it quiet and that he doesn't want to bring attention and that. Well, the assistant manager's buying time and that sort of thing, whereas he's getting to a stage where yeah, the dude is really getting upset with him in that. Well, Mac chokes out the bank robber, but then he sees like the shotgun that like got dropped on the floor. Well, dropped on the stairs is going to fall down the stairs, which then would alert people to like there's something going on in that. So great move this, where he slides down the stairs and that and catches the shotgun before it like drops all the way down to like the ground floor, which the Americans call the first floor, but we call it the ground floor, and like then sort of chokes out. Now I don't know if he chokes him out because you don't see this character no more. So I think it might be one of them where he could have choked him to death, sort of thing. Because I don't think you see this, but I don't know. Well, anyway, then the robber, he's getting really annoyed now, and he points the gun at the assistant manager, and that, and at this stage, the assistant manager starts to like nearly plead for his life because he knows, oh yeah, this is getting to a stage where he's going to find out I can't open the vault. Well, Matt comes and just takes him out from behind, really easy. Not much of a tussle on that occasion. Well, then the head robber, he radios in and asks about their status on how it's going with the vault. Well, Matt answers, and he does it in an Irish accent and that. Says they're almost in the vault and that. So the head robber says, oh yeah, well, shut up talking and get on with it then, sort of thing. So Matt, using his super hearing, even though he could use his daredevil sight, where he probably could see through the vault nearly if you just started banging it in that. But anyway, maybe he just didn't want to bang the vault or do any loud noises that would bring attention. Well, he starts to use his super hearing to like hear the vault's code, number lock sort of thing. And he opens it and that, and the cops are still around the bank and that. Well, the negotiator talks to the head robber, says she needs more time to get the APV and that, because it's been like half hour, so the 30-minute mark where she's at. Well, he asked for a joke and that. Well, Matt and the assistant manager see the deposit boxes and that, but they don't know which one it is. So Matt searches the robber and finds a key on him where he shows the assistant bank manager the key where it's got a number on. So, but part of the numbers they can't see. So, but they know sort of which row it's on anyway. So, the negotiator makes an attempt at telling a joke where it's about leprechaun shagging a nun, which well, was a quite a funny joke. And well, the dude, he's listening to it and that. Well, Matt and the assistant bank manager try to find the box and that they're going through all like the row that they know it's sort of in and that. Well, the negotiator makes the head bank robber laugh. So with the joke she tells him, so the bank robber gives it 10 more minutes before he shoots the first hostage. And he'll probably keep shooting hostages until these APVs turn up. So that's sort of like the situation going down there. Well, Matt, he hears this and that, and then the assistant bank manager finds the box that like the key opens to and that, and then he takes the box out and that, and then they say it's a diamond, but it's one of the like the infinity stones, I think anyway, because it's marble in it. But they call it a diamond, but I don't know if it's a power stone or whatever. It's one of the stones anyway, but I'm sure of it. Well, anyway, Matt hears the cops talking about going into the bank because they're not going to give the bank robbers these APVs and that, and so before hostages are getting shot, they're like just going to go in there, which bit of action and that, and yeah. So the negotiators and that talk about people could get hurt in the crossfire, but it's like, well, they're going to get even more hurt when them APVs don't turn up. So Matt says to the assistant manager that they need to get up the stairs and that. So they like go up the like stairs where Matt and the assistant manager go to the bank floor, and the head robber like ask how they get there and that. He should be asking why aren't they being accompanied by like the other bank robber mates. But anyway, and um, Matt says they need to let the hostages go, and asked about the last time he spoke to the negotiators and that, and because like Matt's saying like they're no longer negotiating, they're like gonna be smashing the doors down in about 10 seconds or whatever. So and then Matt says that they don't really want to kill people and that, but the head bank robber says that maybe it's time to let the cops know how serious it is and that, where he is going to kill Matt. But Matt says, like, all they want is the stone and that, where Matt hears the cops ready to burst in and tries to negotiate the stone for the hostages, but cops are ready to enter by this stage. Now, the head robber is very impatient, so he gives Matt sort of 3 seconds to hand over the stone. And as he gets down to 1 second, Matt sort of throws the stone at the head robber, says like catch, which the bank robber, he does. And then cops enter the building and that, tear gas, everything, they don't care. Well, the robbers like scatter a bit and that. Well, they're like get into a bit of a situation where there's a lot of tear gas, so they're making their escape. But one, he stays back to shoot at the cops and that, where the head bank robber, he goes into an office and he takes off his overalls and he's got a cop uniform underneath there. And I don't know where he gets the hat from. I think he might have had the hat like put in a bag when they came in and put underneath the table. But anyway, he gets dressed up as a cop sort of thing. Well, Matt gives the dude who's shooting at the cops a smack to the back of the head and that. So like walks off real cash. Little bit of action there. And then Matt, he hears the head bank robbers walk, and so, well, his footsteps, so he knows his walk and that. So he, even though the bank robber is dressed up as a cop at this stage, he still knows it's him and that. Where the head bank robber dresses as a cop and he passes the stone onto a woman. The woman who was like telling Matt to like sit down and that. Well, he sort of then just walks out of the building dressed as a cop and that, and leaves the bank, just walks down the street. And Matt hears this though, so he knows what's going on. Well, then Matt, he gets out of the bank, sort of thing. Like just walks out. Someone's verified he was an hostage. So he like follows the head bank robber and that, where puts on a red ski mask and then just starts beating the crap out of the copper and that. Well, the bank robber dressed as a copper, should I say. And the bank robber tries to fight back in that, but like Matt uses his sneaky moves and a bit of like ducking and diving, where he gets into a position where he's half strangling the dude, then does like a low swinging move off the scaffolding to shatter the like head bank robber's shins. And then like you can see the bottle or on the metal, looks like a washing machine. I don't even know what it is, but whatever that metal yellow thing with the beer bottle on it, Matt smashes the head robber's face on it and that. Well, oh yeah. Oh, this is going like really nasty on this dude. Smashes his face into it and that. And now at this stage, the dude's in a bit of shock and that. It's probably the fight's over by this stage, but Matt, no, he's not finished. Because then he breaks his leg, and I won't show it in that because like one of them where yeah, crazy move and all, jumps about like 5 foot in the air. You have to see it, but anyway, at this stage, the dude is pretty unconscious in that. Well, Matt like stomps his head in that. You see it sort of like go to black in that, fade to black. Well, the woman, she's walking down the street and that because she's like supposed to have the stone, but turns out no, she's got these sweets that like you see sort of later on. Well, what you saw at the beginning, because then it goes to where you see it. It must be a few days later or something, or because like I think it's saying like yeah, St Patrick Day's over and done with it, and it must be because like it goes back. Matt goes back to the bank where he like talks to the assistant bank manager and that says like, oh yeah, um, see if you're all right and that, and you can see the bowl of sweets next to his hand, next to his elbow nearly. That like got some boiled sweets and that where Matt, he sort of like says, "All right, it's nice to see you here," and then he gets invited for lunch and all that sort of like. So, I'm hoping like 'cause I haven't seen episode 6 yet, but I'm hoping episode 6 it's not in with oh Miss Marvel and that in there. Well, anyway, he agrees to have lunch with him and that. So, I don't know. It's some kind of like, oh yeah, let's try and get Miss Marvel into the. But anyway, um, then yeah, Matt sort of like leaves and that, and as he leaves, he asks for one of the sweets, which the assistant manager says, "Oh yeah, all right, yeah, you can have one and that." Which he takes one and that, and then as you sort of like see when the assistant manager goes conveniently to get a sweet after Matt's just left, the assistant manager he finds the stone in the sweet ball, and then it ends. So that was episode 5, which is a bit more action in it. So yeah, I was a bit happier. So well, anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.